Hey, welcome back to Nerd Your Enthusiasm. So today, we're going to be talking about The Boys Presents Diabolical, the anthology animated series. So we just watched it over the weekend, just came out. Initial thoughts?
I really liked it.
It was awesome.
It was short season. There was only 8 episodes.
And each episode was super
Each episode
short.
was short. Like it was either like 13 minutes or like 16 minutes. Very short episodes. But again, with a lot of those anthology series, you have a lot of varying times. But I really enjoyed it.
It reminded me a lot of Visions. We talked about this before, where there were like different studios that handled the animation and the stories and stuff. So it was kind of like that. But that's cool. Each one was different. But I liked all of them.
Yeah.
And they had some of the same voice actors, so that kind of helped feel a little bit more canon.
And a lot of great guest voices too.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I was surprised.
Ben Schwartz, I think, was in the first one. Yeah, John Ralphio.
Yeah.
So should we go through some of them?
Yeah, let's go through some of them. Like as a whole, I really,
I would.
For like a short, I want a season 2.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe like 8 out of 10 for my like flat review.
Yeah, me too. If you like The Boys, then you'll.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I enjoyed every episode a lot more because I understand that whole universe. Right. I know what the whole. The concepts and the thoughts behind why things are happening the way they are, and like the humor behind it, like how it's kind of making fun of superheroes, but at the same time putting them into a real world environment as like how it really happened. Because of course it would be run by corporations. It'd all be about money. That's,
of course.
And they wouldn't all be good.
Publicity.
So I really like the way that universe works, and so I think these shorts worked.
But that's just like in general about The Boys, which I do love that too. Like, but it like hits on all of those nails. Like it hits on all of those aspects of like. I mean, it used, obviously you could see the Rick and Morty animation, and then some of the other ones were like more anime, so if you like superheroes, Rick and Morty, anime, all that kind of stuff, then of course you would love it. If you didn't, then no, you'd probably hate it.
Yeah,
you'd be like, this is so gratuitous and violent and weird and stupid.
I can't imagine someone watching it and not liking animation and not liking The Boys.
Yeah.
It would make zero sense.
It would be really bad. So the first one, Laser Baby's Day Out. It was kind of the Looney Tunes style.
Yeah, definitely. It reminded me of something I'd watch as a kid on Cartoon Network. Saturday mornings or after school. Because there was no real. I don't know if there's any
dialogue. Yeah. I don't think there was. It felt very light, and I kept waiting for the shoe to drop. Like, okay, when? And then it finally did, and just so much.
Just the blood. the sudden outrageous
so much blood,
violence. Yeah.
But it was good.
Oh yeah.
The second one was about it was the Rick and Morty style one. That one maybe is my favorite. That one was so good.
I mean, and that one had obviously a ton of voice actors. Like seriously, so many of these big names. And then of course Justin Roiland like comes in as the paper. He like can control papers. Using his typical like Justin Roiland voice, where it's kind of like an offshoot of all the other characters. But as soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, that's great.
That one was good.
with the animation.
That one was so good. I loved it.
Yeah, with the narrator the whole time was.
That
episode I really enjoyed that.
Picante balls. Yeah. That one, all of it was great.
Yeah,
that one was so funny.
The drug dealer, who they drug one of the supers. Who was supposed to be giving like a presentation, or like he was gonna be a new hero.
That one was crazy.
And instead they basically
I remember that.
Get him on crazy drugs, and he rampages and dies and kills.
It's kind of like A-Train when he was all hyped up.
Exactly.
But
and that one had Michael Cera, Kieran Culkin, Jason Isaacs, Simon Pegg, obviously playing Huey there.
Which you knew about him, that he was. In the comics, that it was initially designed after Simon Pegg.
Yeah, that animation style was basically exactly what the graphic novel looks like of The Boys, down to the characters and everything like that. And because initially, Huey's supposed to be like older, goatee, shaved head, Irish, like not Jack Quaid.
Like Simon Pegg.
Yeah, exactly like Simon.
Yeah, so that was cool that he was able to do that, have that connection.
Exactly. Boyd in 3D.
Oh,
yeah.
that one was good.
He had like the moisturizer that turned him into.
It turned him into like Homelander.
Whatever he wanted to
basically.
be.
He looked like Homelander, and then the girl turned into like a cat. But it was very like real. It was kind of like Rick and Morty, where you have like stupid, crazy stuff, and then you have like real, sincere moments. It was kind of like that. It was like crazy, but then it was like very telling about this relationship. It was very serious.
That was a good episode. I like that one. And that animation too did remind me of something I'd see like Cartoon Network Saturday morning. It like Scooby-Doo type animation with like the characters. But yeah, very real idea behind it, which made it even more interesting.
Yeah, that was good. BFFs, I love. I didn't really used to love her that much, or I didn't really know like too much about her, but especially after seeing Shang-Chi, I love Awkwafina. So just knowing that she was the voice and that she had to say all these lines about turds and stuff like that, and her power was
controlling and bringing to life poop.
It's so stupid, but it was good. I liked it. I liked that one.
Yeah, it was cool too. I definitely, based off IMDb and kind of like what I'd imagine that, I guess people, I would assume that would be probably one of the least liked ones, because not everyone like, some people like poop humor is just off the table, like they're just not about it. But like within the context of the universe, like it was a funny episode.
It was funny.
Obviously having Chase Crawford as the Deep, reprising his voice as the Deep was great because
definitely
I think he's one of the funniest characters in The Boys. But like also he's terrible. But now he's trying to have like this redemption, but like you know how terrible he was, and so you're like, he can't really get away with like, I mean, that sort of assault in like the very first episode of The Boys and how bad he was, but like he's now trying really hard and then like being manipulated. It's like, do you feel bad for him? Do you want him to be redeemed? Is he bad? Like his character is very interesting and he's hilarious. Yeah,
he's an underrated character because you hate him initially, but then I ended up just feeling like bad for him, like and he sees all of his friends, like his fish friends, like die in front of him and stuff, and the dolphin, remember, goes out the van, and
it's
like
just funny.
Like I end up feeling bad for him, and then that one girl like assaults him, and you're like
the fingers in his gills.
It's so weird, but he's a complex character because you hate him, but then it's like, oh man, it's funny. So anyways, that was cool to have him back. Nubian versus Nubian. Yeah. I like that. That was
that one. Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. Yeah. That was crazy. It was totally obviously a ripoff of Black Panther.
Yeah.
And like it's funny because he's War Machine, and he's like in that world with Black Panther, but yet he's like doing the obvious like fake accent. And I thought it was maybe kind of a dig too that everybody hated his accent, fake accent in the Ocean's movies. So, anyways, it was just funny. But no, I liked it.
I liked that episode. It was fun.
Yeah,
the concept of them wanting to get divorced, the kid trying to do something, bring back a villain.
And then what was the hawk or the thing? The iron. Not Iron Fist.
Hammer Fist.
Hammer Fist or something?
Yeah.
That was funny. That's the thing with all of these, is that I want to see more of all of these.
Of these characters.
Like, tons of them. Like, the good ones and the stupid ones. I want to see all of these in live action, too. So, anyways, that one was good. So, the next one, John and Soon Hee.
Yeah.
I don't remember a ton, but...
So, that was,
the wife and the husband.
So, the husband injects his wife with some V, and her cancer basically becomes its own powered creature and starts wreaking havoc and growing larger and larger.
Right.
But he's just, he just wanted to save his wife.
Right.
And she knows that what he did was wrong, even though she was going to die. So, like, that on its own is interesting. This is probably one of the most serious ones, too, because it was, like, very sad. And, it ends with the wife going to battle this thing and then leaving the husband, as would have happened anyway. And this episode was written by Andy Samberg. Funny
That's
enough.
crazy.
When it ended, I was like, whoa, Andy Samberg wrote this.
Yeah. That was crazy.
I did like this episode. The animation was really unique. But it was like a very sad and serious one compared to probably every other episode. Because there was no like... Yeah, of course, the thing goes on a rampage. It's a lot of violence. But it wasn't like a baby lasering people kind of fun violence. It was like, oh, this thing's on a rampage and it's her cancer to come alive. And he just wants to save her. So it was a very... somber compared to all the other episodes,
but that one was good too.
Which is great. Like they don't
they're not all the same.
Yeah, having them be so diverse is part of what makes an anthology, separating ideas and everything. I really like that one.
Back really quick before we go on to the last one, you mentioned Andy Samberg. I forgot that Seth Rogen wrote one of them with Evan Goldberg, his writing partner. But he was in, I think, one of them. He did the voice. Yeah. But also, I think, and I even went back, I was like, oh, that's totally Seth Rogen. He was in like a car. It's like pretty quick.
Yeah,
it was like totally him, and he has like the joint, in his hand. I was like, oh, that's Seth Rogen. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it was the first Looney Tunes one. Yeah, the last one, and before we go into that, like I was reading about if this is canon or not. Some of them they said is kind of loosely canon, but I've heard that even the creator, I think, said for sure this last one is
absolutely this one
for sure. This one is, it's the Homelander, like his like first outing, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I liked that one.
I really liked that one.
It was interesting.
I mean, if you've seen the other seasons of The Boys, you know who Homelander is. You know his character and, like, his arc. But seeing him in, his first outing's interesting because he's still at this stage where he's like, I'm trying to do good, but he's unstable at the start. Yeah. As he is throughout the entirety of the show. So seeing him deal with that and then learn how to basically cover up what he does, which we see him do many times in the show, but this is the first time you see him cover up when Black Noir comes over and like gives him a note. Presumably, like, we're gonna say that we tried and it exploded and they're gonna love us as heroes, which of course they do, because he's like, oh, I still failed. And they're like, it's okay, we still love you. Like, you tried to save him, but like, it was his fault they all died.
Yeah, it reminded me of like
he killed all the innocent people
with him and Maeve. You know, when with the plane, and they're just like, and you can definitely feel it later. They've done this 1,000 times. Yeah. But this was just like the first time, so it was interesting to see that, and it was interesting to see the relationship with Black Noir. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I didn't really realize that sort of connection that they had like from the beginning.
Yeah. And with Stillwell when she's young. Yeah. And like, he obviously has his thing with her later.
So many issues.
But it was interesting seeing her as being, the young agent of his basically and guiding him from his first outing up until where we see where their relationship ends, at the end of season 1.
Anyways, that one was good. Overall, they were all good.
Yep. I enjoyed it. It was a short watch.
It was a good
I wish there was more.
Yeah.
So I guess that's always a good thing.
Yeah. It was a good little, just a little thing to whet our appetite, to keep us satiated for a few months until season 3, which we also just had the trailer come out for. What did you think about that?
Man, that trailer was fantastic. I mean, first of all, the whole, there's no dialogue. You just have music playing. Yeah. You're shown scenes without much context. So it's not like a trailer where it's like, oh, I just watched the whole season. Right. Or whole movie in that trailer. Like, clips. It was just, everything there was just making you excited to watch the actual season. Yeah.
Billy Butcher having powers, that's crazy.
It seems like they're going towards things that happen in the comics where they can, using V, can briefly give themselves some powers.
So that'll be cool.
But it looks like it, obviously, from the trailer. I mean, they weren't holding back on showing him with some laser eyes. So.
Yeah. So that'll be cool to kind of put them on the same level with some of the other ones.
Especially when it comes to fighting them and trying to take others down. Yeah.
There was some stuff with Frenchie and, was it Kamiko? Is her name? Mm-hmm. They were like, it looked like they were like dancing.
Yeah, there's like a dance sequence.
I was like, whoa, she like.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna be like some sort of like hallucinogenic scene or like as a part of someone's powers. Yeah. I mean, there's so many. There's a lot of unanswered things. Yeah. There's a lot of things teased in the trailer, and there's a lot of things left over from season 2 that we're wondering, okay, what's gonna happen next? Yeah. So I mean, going into season 3, I'm so excited for it. And we got a tease at Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy, which is the first. It's basically Captain America, just as all the other people, all the other 7 are based off are based off of either Justice League or Avengers characters. Right. But his character is essentially Captain America, and he's, if I remember correctly, he's the first super. Mm. And he was around, like Captain America in World War II. And he's even got very similar headpiece on. Which, funny enough, he auditioned to be Captain America
Really?
And he was second in the running.
Really?
So it's funny to see him now
That's
be
cool.
this character who's a play on Captain America in a much more
That's cool.
violent show.
Yeah,
but I think he'll be great as that character, and it's interesting we're seeing more of that coming back, and more superheroes introduced.
Anything else from season 1 and 2?
Man.
Like any threads you're like, oh, I want to.
I mean, obviously at the end of season 2 we had the head exploder power.
Yeah.
That whole room is cleared. There at the end. So, I mean, obviously more of that. More with, oh my gosh, in the trailer, Homelander's like milking a cow.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
His obsession. Oh my gosh,
he's got deep issues.
I'm so excited to see more Homelander, because it's been a long time since I've seen a character on screen that like you can really feel is so close to snapping at any second, and like you can see it in his face. You can see it like when he clenches his jaw in a conversation. You're just like, is everyone in this room gonna die right now? Like you don't even know as a viewer, which I think is fantastic. But it's been a while since there's been a character like that.
Remember that one scene when I can't remember, who she was, but she brought in like I think he was blind, that one superhero, and he's just like, oh yeah, that's so great, and he feels so genuine, and then he literally just like kills him.
He relies on his like hearing.
Yeah, and he just boxes his ears,
God.
and he's just bleeding.
Yeah,
that's like a good example of like you never know when he's gonna snap. Like, yeah, he's terrible, obviously.
But I like the character.
He's a good character.
Yeah, he's a character that you love to hate.
So, that's how I felt about Stormfront. Like, that and I was surprised. I ended up liking the character. Obviously, I don't like her. She was terrible. She was like a Nazi. Yeah. And crazy.
Which is hilarious. Like, that, once you saw those little hints start dropping more and more.
Oh, wow.
And then when she's talking to Homelander's son about white supremacy, basically, and like he kind of like has that moment of like, wait, what did you say? He like looks at her and looks back at his son.
But that was like a good example. Yeah, like they make you like characters that are terrible, but it's like, I mean, it's kind of like Game of Thrones, like, and lots of shows. It's like they can be terrible people, but you like the character.
Exactly. I'm definitely gonna have to do a rewatch of 1 and 2.
Me too.
1 because I'll probably need a few little recaps, and also because it's good and I want to watch it again.
And maybe Diabolical, because it's like short. It's like an hour and a half if you watch it all together. Them all on the go. Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think that wraps it up. We're excited. The Boys, Diabolical, definitely check it out if you like The Boys. And then obviously the show. Highly recommend it.
Watch the season 3 trailer.
If you like superheroes, watch The Boys. Yeah, watch the season 3 trailer. And then, we'll just see you in June for the season 3 review.
Perfect.
We'll probably talk about it more as it gets closer.
That's true. We need to do like a recap.
Yeah. But anyway, stick around. We'll see you soon. Thanks.